Hey, what's up guys? Node Investor here. Want to drop a video on the market today. Bitcoin moves into all-time highs and the altcoins, most of them react negatively. So we'll take a look at those. We'll look at some of the main ones I've been watching here. We're going to talk Bitcoin, we'll talk Ethereum, Litecoin, Neo took a big hit today, OmiseGO, TenX, and maybe a few others. So quick look at the coin market cap here. $165 billion. So we're still moving up, market's moving up, and it's just this seesaw back and forth, right? Bitcoin pauses, altcoins start to run, and it's been very selective. I mean, we look at Neo has been on hold for a long time. OmiseGO has been consolidating for a couple of weeks. Up until recently, Litecoin was consolidating for a long time, and you know the privacy coins were running. Monero, Dash, Zcash were popping good, and it just seems to be rotating a lot right now. We saw Ripple last week, and this week is just really taking a hit. So a lot of rotation happening. Overall, the market in the cryptocurrency space is moving north, heading higher. But you got to be a little selective right now, no doubt. So let's take a look at the charts. Bitcoin moves into all-time highs here. In my last video, which seems like a long time ago, which, you know, we were back in here, you know, I was talking about this base that was putting in. I said I expected to see a little bit of a handle pullback, and that's pretty much what we got in here just in the last day. A little bit pop to the upside, pretty decent volume on that move higher, so I expect it to go higher. I think we're going to see 5,000 Bitcoin here in the coming weeks, if not sooner. So looking good, looking strong. That consolidation pause was very healthy, very constructive, and so far Bitcoin is looking like it wants to go higher. I brought it up in the last one. You know what's going to happen to the altcoins? I think in that initial pop, we saw the altcoins react negatively. Everybody jumps back into Bitcoin, wants to ride the wave up. But I think some of these altcoins are going to keep up or outperform. And so all in all, Bitcoin's looking good. If you're holding Bitcoin, I think it's a good place to be right now. It's going to look like it wants to march higher here. Let's look at Ethereum. So Ethereum's another one I've been watching. I told you guys Ethereum, I expect it to outperform Bitcoin a little bit. It has been just kind of keeping up, really. So let's look at the first chart here. The first chart is Bitcoin versus Ethereum here. And you can see, you know, we're kind of in this uptrending. So it has been outperforming Bitcoin slowly, right? It's not rocketing higher, but it's very constructive, very nice, very steady. You know, we had the big pop and then it kind of pulled back, but still holding this trend. So looking very good. If you look at Ethereum versus the dollar, my first target of resistance was 370. We're pretty much right there. We're 375. I don't know if it's going to just push through and hit the old all-time highs. I think we're going to see a pause first. I'm not saying sell Ethereum. I'm holding some Ethereum. And I think what we'll just see is a little bit of a pause, a little bit of a breather, and then maybe a push higher. If we zoom out a little bit, let's look at the daily charts. If we zoom out a little bit, you can see here we're kind of forming this nice big base. So it would be ideal to see a little bit of a pause here, maybe even a little bit of a handle, pull back down to the 350 area, and then a push higher. Or we could just go to this high here where it closed. The old closing high was around 386, so we can see that happen, and then pause or pull back from that point on. But I still think we're going to see these old all-time highs exceeded here. So Ethereum's looking good. You know, I was talking about it starting to outperform back in this 280, 290 range. So far has been a pretty good trade in the last 2 weeks, moving high, just pretty much keeping pace with Bitcoin, if not outperforming it slightly. So looking good on Ethereum. I'm still liking it here. Litecoin, let's talk Litecoin. So after that nice big long base, we saw the signal last week. I said that was a good breakout. Normal pause, normal pullback action, right back to the 10 EMA, and then boom, there we go. So we're marching higher. $62 Litecoin, guys. You should be excited. This is very good, very nice action. You know, some backfilling would be normal, some just kind of pulling in a little bit, pause up and down, stair stepping its way up. And so I'm liking the action in Litecoin. I'm still holding some Litecoin. I think we're going to see higher prices. Will it outperform Bitcoin? You know, it's hard to say. I mean, there's a lot going for it. You can see here, there's a little bit of a trend. You know, it was outperforming it, generally speaking, up, down, but it's still moving that direction. So it looks like it could continue. So that would be good. Are we going to see these old all-time highs versus Bitcoin tested. Somebody was asking me, that's a long ways up from here. If we look at that, that's 56% higher. So that would put Litecoin at close to $90 at that point. So could that happen? I think so. Is it going to happen in this run? Who knows? That's a long ways up. I personally don't think so. I think we're going to see some up and then some pullback. Target wise, it's kind of hard to say now. We're in all-time highs on the dollar side of Litecoin. So who knows? I'm still betting $75. We'll see where the next stop is. Let's take a look at NEO. NEO, what a hit it took today. So NEO had a double whammy. One, the altcoin sold off with Bitcoin breaking out, and two, there was some news about China starting to regulate ICOs, and we're just seeing that everywhere. We're seeing news about governments all over the place, not just in the US, starting to notice the crypto space and cracking down and wanting to regulate and wanting to control. And that's just inevitable, guys. When a market grows this fast, this quickly, this strongly, and you get a lot of attention, and there's a lot of money to be made here, there's a lot of reasons why they would want to regulate. There's a lot of reasons exchanges want to be centralized, and and I understand it. I don't agree with it all, but I think we're expecting to see more of that. So as far as NEO goes, honestly, I think it was just FUD. I think a lot of it was a quick reaction to the news. Is it going to kill NEO long term? Is it the end for NEO? I doubt it. I really do, guys. I think this is a temporary setback. I think NEO has a bright future. It's going to be doing some good things. The project's not stopping. There might be a pause or a hurdle to overcome regarding ICOs, and maybe some projects that were planning to go on the NEO blockchain might think about it, or maybe look at another platform. But whether it's NEO or whether it's Ethereum or anything else, if China's going to regulate ICOs, it doesn't matter what platform it's on. Just NEO had that China focus. So looking at the charts, we had a big break. No doubt that is a very bearish break, a very bearish signal. And technically speaking, yeah, some damage was done. We were consistently holding this support here, and things were getting tight, and a move was imminent, and of course I was hoping a move to the upside was what we were going to be seeing here soon. The moving averages were catching up, but we broke, and we broke bad, and the volume was huge. I think a lot of it was once the stops got taken out, the panic selling ensued. Look at the hourly chart here. Most of that move happened in 2 hours, and this 1 hour here was, in 1 hour we saw from peak to bottom 20+% move on that. So big washout. So as far as the upside goes, here's what I'd be looking for: a break of the descending 10 EMA on all the charts. Right now we haven't been able to overtake that. On the 4 hour, it's still way up here, and what tends to happen is if something's going to start to break down, that becomes an area of resistance. So we'll see the price bounce right into that and sell off, bounce into that and sell off. So until I see that pattern broken, just remain cautious on NEO. On the downside, if you're still holding it, watch out for these lows today, and specifically if we can close below that 0.07, which has been a real solid level of support, that's really the area I'd be considering moving out or lightening up on it here. So this 0.07 is kind of, on a closing basis, really the area that I'm looking to exit a little bit on that position. So we're kind of in this middle ground. I think if that was it, if that was just a reaction to the news and we see buyers start stepping in, this could be a good opportunity to pick some up here at these low levels. But no doubt it's high risk. It's a little bit bearish pattern. So if you do pick some up, definitely keep tight stop on this, because we don't know where the ultimate bottom is going to be. Now, if I look at the daily charts, now that it's kind of broken down a little bit, this first moving average, if it doesn't close above that today, this 50 EMA is going to really be the ultimate low, which kind of correlates to this support consolidation over here. And so that would be the ultimate stop for me, and that's going to be just below 0.06 or right at 0.06. And so that's what I'd be looking for. So around the 600 Satoshi level, 600,000 Satoshi level is the stop that I'd really be putting us for longer term holds. Below that, you don't really want to see that level get taken out. I think we're a little overdone to the downside. Hopefully we don't see that level taken out. That kind of correlates back here with some of this. So that's a kind of the must hold level for Neo. OmiseGO. So this is probably my #1 holding right now. Probably my biggest position all around. Holding multiple ones right now. I mentioned on my top 4 the other day I was Ethereum, Litecoin, Neo, and OmiseGO. And obviously Neo has taken a hit. The other ones are doing very well. And a lot of it just depends on where you got in. I mean, I've been riding OmiseGO since the lows. Neo, the same thing. So, you know, you can give them a little bit of room. I'm thinking OmiseGO is due for a breakout here, and I've been waiting for it. And this is just an incredible pattern. You see this tight. I mean, very rarely do you see these patterns. And, you know, to be honest with you, they can go either way. When they get this tight, you know, it doesn't take a lot of movement. If you see a crack to the downside, you know, everybody panics and sells, or you'll get the little shakeout and then the pop. But it's just incredibly tight. It looks like it's edging up here. It's definitely looking strong. If we go to the 4-hour chart, starting to see the moving averages start to turn up here. We're seeing a little bit of pausing right now. If we go versus Bitcoin, OmiseGO saw a little bit of pulling in here. You know, and there's a lot of sellers showing up at these, you know, this 0.021 level. It just seems to be a big sell wall right now. Once that gets exhausted, I think we're going to start to see prices really accelerate. So this is my #1 watch right now. I'm really liking this pattern. Very strong, very bullish pattern. And if we break out, you're going to see a big move up. So keep an eye on OmiseGO. Let's look at TenX. So yesterday, TenX started to move. This was pre-Bitcoin breakout. After that breakout, it pulled in a little bit. You saw some selling showed up. But on the daily pattern, it's still looking good. It's above the 10 EMA now. It's above, you know, this 30 EMA held very nicely. You know, so I'm liking this. After this big stair step up, it had this nice consolidation starting to round out here and move into the up on the right side with volume coming in. There was some selling showing up here, but look at the, you know, in big green bars, you know, this is the big selling wick. But then on the downside, that bar looks ugly. It's very sharp, very quick, but relatively speaking, you know, the volume was kind of contained, and we're seeing some support show up here. And so I'm holding my 10X for now. I think on the dollar basis, if it holds above $4, and on this BTC level right around you know, this 0.86 or so is really the level I'm going to be watching. If it starts to close below that, then I'm going to step aside and just kind of let it figure out what it wants to do here. But so far, looks like it wants to recover. I'm going to hold on to this one for now. I really like the project. I think technically it's very good. The charts, you know, it's just kind of a normal consolidation after the run up, normal pullback. It looks like it wants to start moving again. So I'm keeping this for now. The level to watch on the upside, if we can close above this recent resistance level, which shows up, is right around 110,000 Satoshi, so 0.011. If we start to close above that, that's going to be a really good sign. And let's take a look at one more, Civic. And so Civic's still consolidating here. I'm watching this one because I'm thinking this one might start to turn around here, and once these moving averages start catching up. The consolidation has been pretty healthy. If you look at the volume patterns, you know, not a ton of big sellers showing up, but you know, all these candles have wicks, and again, it's just that resistance keeps showing up every time it tries to rally it a little bit. So not ready yet, but I think it should be on your watch list. And you know, on the downside, we don't want to see these recent lows get taken out, and that kind of correlates with this moving average now. So that's the area I'd be watching. It's kind of forming this tight little channel right now. If we start to move up above that, especially if volume comes in, I'd be looking for that. Confirmation would be if we can get this RSI to start poking above 60. That'll be good too. So watching Civic. I am holding some Civic. It's not a real big position, but I'm holding some for now. And I think you guys should just be keeping an eye on it. If you're not in it now, there's probably not a whole lot to do. If you want to start accumulating some here, just keep a tight stop on it. But that's going to be it for today, guys. Interesting markets, interesting times. I'm enjoying the ride, but you know, sometimes it pays to just step away from the screen and not watch the charts, because it gets volatile. I mean, this is cryptocurrency, right? And sometimes we forget, especially when things are nice and climbing steady and eddy, and you get these crazy shakeout days, and kind of just reminds you this is a volatile space. When times like this show up, I think it's good to just take a step back and look at the longer term charts, look at the daily charts. What's the broader pattern saying? And you know, and kind of set your stops that way. Look at your positions, your holdings that way. And if you need to sell, you need to sell, take some profits, protect some gains. That's okay too, right? and move into BTC temporarily and figure out what to do from there. So that's going to be it for tonight, guys. Until next time, take care.